Man, what did I just experience? That was insane. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly and in this video I am going to be reacting to the album Iowa from the band Slipknot. So Iowa, this is Slipknot's second album. They released it 2 years after their debut album, which I recently did a reaction to, and so many of you down in the comments were saying I had to check Iowa out next, that they go in an even darker direction with the sound of this one. I loved Slipknot's debut album and I'm just really curious to see how their sound is going to progress from their first album now to their second, Iowa. So yeah, let's just dive right into my reaction. Alright, so starting off Iowa, we have track 1 called 515. Sounds like some really distorted, like, engine idling sounds. Just some really scratchy industrial noises, and then we got some screaming in the background. That was track 1, 515, kind of a little introductory track to this album. If the sound of that one is any indication of the rest of Iowa, it's definitely going to be very dark and demented with its sound, because 515 just had this really kind of haunted atmospheric nature to it with all that screaming going on. It just kind of set a very dark tone for this album. And I'm going to move on now to track 2 called People Equals Shit. A total unleashment of all kinds of sounds right at the start. That is a very telltale Slipknot sound, like how the track just built up there. This track is very smooth. They're taking it back and forth with all these rhythmic patterns, but they're doing it without any sharp transitions. I'm like you, I just fuck up. I keep getting goosebumps on this part where the song starts to build up. Well, that was track 2, People Equal Shit. That song just reminded me of why I loved their debut so much. They just brought that energy again that their first album had, especially at the beginning of that track where it just started with Corey yelling. Just like an unleashment of energy. It was amazing. And I'm going to move on now to track 3 called Disasterpiece. They're back with that amazing percussion. Man, there's such a great flow to these first 2 tracks. They're just very smooth sounding. That scream in the background from time to time is so unsettling. That sound in the background's really cool. His vocals are so intense. I just love his voice. Well, that was track 3, Disasterpiece. That one was just absolutely mind-blowing. There's something about Iowa I'm noticing. I'm paying attention to everything going on. Like with their debut album, it was the percussion and the vocals I kept really picking up on. Those were like the 2 things that really stood out to me. On Iowa, there's not one certain element really that's standing out. It's all just working really well together as like one sound. All right, continuing on now with track 4, we have My Plague. For the final Okay, so we're getting a change up on the vocals from Corey here. Kind of like Purity a little bit. It's got that vibe to its sound. I'm turning it The guitars, too, are really impressing me so far on Iowa. I love how he goes from such that melodic sound to his voice and he pulls it right into this intense, growly vocal delivery. He goes back and forth between the two so effectively. Well, that was track 4, My Plague. Loved that one as well. I'm loving all of the aggressive, energetic outpouring on all of these songs. And we got a little bit of those DJ sound effects coming in at the end there. I also really liked the clangy, industrial sounding elements on that one too. A lot going on, but again, such a cohesive track. They made everything work extremely well together. And up next we have track 5 called Everything Ends.
Fucked and overrated. I think I'm gonna be sick and it's your fault. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything.
Interesting start to that one, with the vocals kind of a talking vocal style. Those guitars, I keep picking up on those.
You are the end of everything.
I keep getting goosebumps. This is like the 5th time I've had goosebumps listening to this album. The honesty in it and the brutality of it is so visceral, it's just giving me goosebumps.
You are the end of everything.
That was track 5, Everything Ends. Again, absolutely incredible, energetic delivery to that one. There's definitely a lot of lyrical themes on this album going into basically feeling absolutely worthless, like you're nothing, like how he was saying he feels like his whole life is a lie. Just a lot of dark themes on self-identity and kind of losing yourself. That's kind of what I'm picking up on so far with Iowa. All right, up next is going to be track 6 called The Heretic Anthem. A deadbeat winner, I want to be a sinner. This track's kind of reminding me a little bit of the last one, Everything Ends. It's got more of that hip-hop-ish quality to it. I just got goosebumps again. This album is amazing. If you're 555, I'm 666. Is he saying like he's evil or the devil? Got some ambient sounding stuff here at the end, some glass breaking. That was track 6, The Heretic Anthem. That track might actually be the one that's delivered the most of an energetic impact. It just like hammered you over the head with its sound. It was so amazing. I especially loved the vocals on that one. During the chorus, you had Corey singing out the lyrics, but then there were some other vocalists that came in as well, which was kind of interesting, kind of like a call and response type thing. But I'm going to move on to track 7 called Gently. We'll see if it's a gentle song somehow from Slipknot. I doubt that, but yeah, let's see what this one's going to sound like. There's actually something about the start of this one that is very reminiscent of The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails to me. Kind of this more quiet, restrained, industrial sound that's kind of building up. All these growls from Corey are amazing. He's not even saying anything lyrically, but you can feel the emotion coming through in his voice.
To the relaxing world of pleasure,
I promise you I'm not making this up. I just got goosebumps again. Oh, we got some electronic sounds in the background of this one. Well, that was track 7, Gently. I was kind of right. It started off definitely sounding a little bit more gentle, but then throughout the course of that track, they just built it up so incredibly well. And then by the end of it, we were just getting this absolutely whirlwind of energy coming at us with the sound. That one was amazing though, a little bit more seething and like toned down, especially toward the start there, a little bit more industrial sounding at times too. And up next we have track 8 called Left Behind. This one's a little bit different. His vocals are a little bit more of a traditional singing style, less of that really harsh, all-out screaming. Really, really cool guitar. They're using the cymbals a lot too on this track with the percussion, which is cool. It gives it an interesting sound. Usually Slipknot just goes more driving with the percussion, and the cymbals kind of lightening it up a little bit. Alright, they're doing some funky stuff here toward the end. Maybe some vocal distortions, like a tiny little bit. Track 8, Left Behind. That one kind of went in a little bit of a different direction with the vocal delivery. I loved too on that one, they were doing some funky stuff with the instrumentals. They changed up the drumming a little bit, it sounded like, and the guitar really stood out too, especially on that bridge there toward the end. The guitar just really shone on that one. Alright, moving on to track 9 now, we have The Shape. Alright, and we're back with the screaming.
Just dust and sound I give it all away.
I love how they keep like stopping most of the instrumentals at certain points and they just make it really quiet for a split second and then they bring the energy back in. This is another track that's reminding me a lot of their self-titled. It kind of has more of that sharpness to it that their self-titled has a lot of. That was track 9, The Shape. Very reminiscent of their first album that I reacted to, their self-titled album. I loved all of the vocal stuff that they were doing with the really soaring melodic vocals, and then they would bring that driving harshness to them. Alright, up next is going to be track 10 called I Am Hated. Alright, we got some distorted vocals here. I love those little breaks that they do in the sound. That guitar, it's so heavy with its sound. They're closing in, I can't escape. Yeah, interesting end to that one. That was track 10, I Am Hated. Definitely reminded me of their self-titled. It kind of had more of those nu metal sounds to it. Again, kind of like the previous track, The Shape. They're taking all of these sounds that they use, and on Iowa, they're just making it all work together as one whole unit so extremely well. It's just really, really impressive. But moving on now to track 11, we have Skin Ticket. Man, that's really, really cool percussion. Somehow this track is so restrained, at least so far, but it's got such an immense sound to it.
Collected and sampled, starving for zero. Come see my cash.
This track is absolutely fascinating to listen to. There's a very echoey quality about this one. It almost sounds like they're in a cave or something. Yeah, you hear all of that, like, echoiness? Such a fantastic atmosphere that they've created on this one. I think I referred to Slipknot as having such a thunderous sound when I reacted to their self-titled album. This song takes the cake, though. Man, what did I just experience? That was insane. That was track 11, Skin Ticket. I absolutely loved how that one started out so drawn in and creepy, and like I said, it had an echoiness to it, but then they just built that track up so effectively. There was like a closedness to that song, like you're trapped and you have to escape. That was kind of the feeling that that song was giving me with its sound. All right, so up next is track 12 called New Abortion. Very interesting change in sound with those vocals. It's cool though, I like it. It gives it kind of a weirdly like futuristic edge. Yeah, they're doing some really interesting sound effects on this one. Yeah, lyrically, this one is kind of interesting. It sounds like he's talking about not wanting to be taken control of, kind of wanting to take his power back. Everywhere you look, it's like they know. That was track 12, New Abortion. I really enjoyed the infusion of electronic vocals on that one from time to time, or those like electronic distorted sounding vocals. And then they paired those with his really heavy, intense vocals really, really well. But I'm going to move on now to track 13 called Metabolic. The revolution of my psychosis. Okay, we've got more vocal distortion on this one too, like very faintly in the background. I don't know what that sound effect is. They just don't stop. They just keep pummeling you with sound. I love it. Track 13, Metabolic. Just a crazy, energetic song for sure. They just poured everything into that one. Just that fused with the amazing guitar and percussion. They're just creating such a cohesive sound that's really unique. It's very distinctly Slipknot in its sound, which is cool. All right, so we are officially on to the last track, which is the title track, Iowa. So let's see what this one's going to sound like. It's 15 minutes long, so I'm not sure if we're going to have a hidden track situation. I'll have to find out. All right, they're slowly building this one up. It's got a very ambient start to it, though. I fill your mouth with dirt. He must be metaphorically talking about burying someone, maybe himself. Such maniacal laughter in the background, too. This track's reminding me a little bit of Skin Ticket, with that really echoey percussion and that haunted quality to its tone. I love that bass that they've got going on. It's like everything is just starting to go insane at this point. Every instrument is just going crazy. I love those DJ sound effects. Somehow they make them sound so dark and twisted. I guess there wasn't a hidden track that was a full 15-minute song, but it did not seem that long. I love how it ended with the lyrics "will live forever," when throughout the rest of the song, it kind of sounded like he was singing about burying himself. Just so cool. I loved the really minimalistic instrumentation on that one too. You could really appreciate all of the sounds and the layers that they used to build that up. Yeah, just a really amazing way to end this album. Alright, so that is going to conclude my reaction to Iowa, the second studio album from the band Slipknot. They definitely took their sound in a slightly new direction on Iowa, but they incorporated a lot of the elements that made me really enjoy their self-titled album as well. You had that amazing percussion, all of the DJ sound effects. Corey's vocals obviously are just as amazing on Iowa, but they just mixed it all together really well. They made it so cohesive on this album. I would say some of the standout tracks after listening to Iowa the first time, People Equals Shit, the second one, was awesome. I also loved the energetic impact of track 6, the Heretic Anthem, and also track 7, Gently, and track 11, Skin Ticket, were favorites too. I really liked how minimalistic and restrained they went at certain parts on those tracks, but Slipknot developed their sound so incredibly well from their first album, which was already amazing, to their second, Iowa. I thought this one was incredible from start to finish. I am definitely looking forward to continuing on with my Slipknot journey and listening to the rest of their albums now. But yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.